ClickFunnels. Today is April 15th, 2015. We're glad to have you with us. First off, we're going to get started. We got Andrew Newman. I am Mark Bangeter. Andrew is going to go over membership areas and membership funnels and introduce you to some tips and tricks there. So I'm going to go ahead and let Andrew take it away.
All right, guys, welcome. Thank you for showing up today. And one of the things we want to make sure that you are doing during this 10-minute interlude is getting your questions queued up and ready, because there is a little bit of a delay between what you hear from us saying it. So we want to make sure that we get your questions answered as soon as possible. So without any further delay, we're going to be showing you how to set up a membership site with some basic functionality, how to lock a person out of certain access if they didn't purchase a product, how to add a video, how to add a downloadable product from your uploaded products up to 3 megabytes inside of ClickFunnels. So let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, we've got our ClickFunnels page here. We're going to go ahead and create a membership funnel just by clicking on the button there. We're going to call this our membership demo.
Make sure to share your screen there, Andrew.
Oh, I should share my screen. Sorry, guys. Bam. Okay, so that should be good to go there. Let me know if you guys can't see my screen, and we'll go ahead and continue on. So as you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and back out just a little bit so you can see where we started out. Started out at just creating a new funnel. Go ahead and add a membership funnel like so. We'll group this in with, I'm just going to group it up for my own purposes. You can if you choose to group it, or if you don't want to, that's fine as well. Go ahead and click on the Create Funnel button now. And you will see here that we have our two basic areas for our membership funnel. We're also going to be adding a new page to add in a sale for the members so that they can gain access to specific membership areas which we want to collect a payment for. So I'm just going to grab a basic template to get us started, and we'll use both the membership area and the login screen as well. So give me just a moment for these to load up, and we'll get going. All right, so now that we're here, we have our content. Now, there's two different sections of content here. One is a lesson section. The other one is a lesson. Now, the lesson sections are going to start with first, and this is going to be, I'm going to call this one free content for purposes of the video. We'll create that section. Now, this will be the area where the members are going to have access to for free. So we'll add a lesson to this. We're going to need to create in the lesson. We're going to have to add it to a section. The name on this is going to be Lesson 1. 1.1, and what we're going to do is we're going to select a page template. So here we have a resource list or a video lesson. For this particular demonstration, we're going to make a video lesson, and we're going to go ahead and create that lesson. Now you'll notice right here that we can drip this lesson if we choose to. So for example, when a person creates their membership account, if we want this lesson to be dripped out one day after they create their account, we'd simply put that number there, and 2 days, and so on and so forth. You can set this for every single one of your lesson, not necessarily sections, but your lessons within the section. So go ahead and create this lesson, and you'll see the lesson here. So we're going to go ahead and open up this editor. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to add a video, and then we're going to place in here a downloadable file from our resources within our ClickFunnels. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. We'll just be able to open up the editor here. So our video type, we have several different options. We have YouTube, Vimeo, Wistia, and HTML, basically Amazon S3. So I'm going to use just a custom embed here using a video frame. I'm going to leave this basically here just like this, but what you would do is you just copy and paste your embed code for your video right in this section here, and then click the Save button on the right hand side. And the next thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to add a downloadable asset. Now I don't personally want to leave this here, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete this area right here, not the whole area, but that content. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add in a downloadable file. So we'll use this downloadable resources. Just go ahead and open up this. Then the next thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go into our resources. So we're going to go to My Account. We'll go to our settings. We're going to go to our digital assets. And I'm just going to choose, for example, this plugin right here that I'm going to provide for them. So I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to copy the link address, and I'm going to come back. And I'm going to choose the downloadable resource. I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to choose this little link button. That's going to open up an opportunity for me to create the link for this particular. So I'm going to paste that in there, and I'm going to press Tab to go out of the box, and then I'm going to click Save. So now that we've done that, what we have here is we have free content, with a lesson that'll have a video and a downloadable resource. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new lesson section. Now this is going to be a paid content section. Restrict the access to your paid content section. All we need to do, this is a list of our products that we actually have set up. In my case, Stripe. It'll be in your payment processor. So I'm just going to go ahead and limit the access to a person who has my awesome training system. So I'm going to go ahead and create that lesson. Now what this is going to do is it's going to restrict the access for a person who has purchased that product, and I'll show you how to add that in just a moment. So we're going to add a new lesson to this. So we're going to have this in the paid content. We're going to call this paid lesson 1.1. We're going to use this. This is going to be a video lesson, and we're going to create the lesson. No drip delay on that particular one. So this is what we have set up right here. We have free content and paid content. Now we need to set up a gateway for them to be able to access the paid content by going through our funnel. So we're going to add a new page, and this is going to be the sales page. I'm going to create this funnel step. We're going to choose the type of page from our drop-down menu here. We're going to click Sale or check Sales. Click OK. We'll grab this template. We will add that page to our funnel. And then the next thing we're going to need to add is an order page. So we're going to call it Order Page Demo. From our drop-down menu, we're going to select an order form. And we'll just grab this one. That's kind of cool. We will add this to our funnel. Move that up to the top there, as well as move our order page right behind our sales page. Now you can have an opt-in page, and you can set up all the page your funnel before your membership access. But for the purposes of this video, we're just going to go ahead and share with you how to set it up as an order page. So the next thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go to our order page. We'll need to add a product. Add product to our sales list. We'll call this our awesome product. Billing integration, we'll use Stripe. We'll charge them $1 to gain access to this membership area because we're awesome like that. This will be a one-time payment. Go ahead and create the product. Here you can edit your product. Any of the information that you want to go ahead, your fulfillment email, you can change here. When they purchase this product, this is very important. We're going to go down to the thank you page. It's already set to the membership area for this funnel, so we're going to leave this alone, but double check to make sure that it's not set up to a different page. But if it is, you'll simply open that up and grab the membership area that you want. Click Update Product, and that should be good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here, we're going to set our funnel up in test mode, just like so. Update our funnel. And then what we get to do is we can go here, copy our URL, come on down to an incognito window, go to our page, and then we can run through and do a quick test. So we'll enter in our email, our credit card number, throw in a CCV code, and then enter in any future date for our expiration. My awesome product will get instant access. So the problem that I'm actually having is that my personal Stripe account's not set up in test mode right now, so that actually didn't go through. But if your Stripe account is set in test mode as well as your membership funnel, it's actually going to take you through, and you're going to be able to go through the funnel as if you're a member. So the next thing I want to show you how to do is how to give access to a member based off of their purchase. So as you can see here, we have our membership area. Our total members is actually 0 right now. If I was able to actually connect that, I'd be able to go into this and do some editing on that particular member. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into a different funnel inside my account, and I'm going to show you that way, since I don't want to log into Stripe because we don't have time. to do that right now. So I'll show you how to do it in another funnel that we've already got created. So here we have our membership access. This one doesn't have any members in it. It's the same one that we just did. That's why. So we'll use this one. So we'll go here to our membership area. Again, no members. How about this one? I know we were doing some testing on this one. There is a member. So when we come into our membership area, you'll see that we have members right here under total members. You can actually click on that number 1, and then you'll be able to go in through your actions. Here's the contact information for this particular member, which is just me. If you decide to add or remove access to your product purchase, you can go ahead and delete this purchase right here just by clicking on that. Come down here and update the contact. If you want to add access, you simply click on the blank space. You'll see a drop down, and you can add access to anything they want, and you can click update on that contact. That's going to give this particular person access or remove access to a particular section of your membership funnel. So I hope this actually gives you a basic insight as to how you can set up a real easy membership site from within ClickFunnels. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started answering any of your questions that you have. So Mark, go right ahead and show us what we got.
So the first question we have is from Don, and he's asking, when testing via Stripe, the confirmation page keeps hold of all the test transactions. Can we clear this down? It is awkward to see what is happening.
Now, by that, do you mean the Stripe page inside of Stripe itself or within ClickFunnels?
I think, actually, I know what this one is. On the order confirmation page, if you don't test in incognito mode, it will collate all of the orders that you've made previously. So make sure to test in incognito, Don. We actually have an article on that in the help desk. Hope that helps.
And you would also want to use a different email address as well for each test.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris, for jumping in and sharing your insight on that. I personally use Gmail, as you could see in the demo there. At my Gmail account, you can do that. You can add plus and then a 1 or anything after that. That gives you the ability to use the same email account and get different results every time. So I hope that answers the question quite directly.
All right. Next question is from Benedict. He asks, can you please explain how the bump works, specifically how the non-bump price versus bump and subscriptions are added to the payment price?
Okay, so for the order bump, I don't actually have any pages with an order bump on it, but I can go add one really quick. I'll just explain it. For example, for an order bump, if you have an additional access that you want to give them, like a one-time offer on the sales page, when you click that, it's actually going to take them through. You're going to add a product just like you would normally within your funnel. And then when they click that, it actually just adds it as if it's like a one-time offer. I hope that's kind of what you were asking. I'd like to be able to actually demonstrate it, but I don't have anything set up, and it might eat up too much of our time for me to actually go through and do that. Let's see here. Let's try it right here. Because I don't have anything set up, of course. So
Andrew, are you trying to set up an order bump?
order bump, yeah.
So it's an order page type? Oh, there you go.
Okay, so this one's actually got the order bump already on it. So let's say, for example, we have a product and we're going to give them access to it here. That product is going to be a digital delivery with, say, for example, several or not DVDs, but videos. And let's say, for example, the customer wants, say, I will take this offer, and we have in here for another $37 upsell. We'll send them a DVD copy of that, for example, using Kanaki or Just Delivered or something of that nature, when they click on this button and they click Get Instant Access, it's just going to add that additional detail to your order form. So when we come in here and we create our product, we add our product. We call this DVD just as the example. It doesn't necessarily have to be a DVD. Use Stripe, and we'll call it a $37. And this is going to be our order bump. So what we do is we select right here, and we create that product. And what that will do in our live funnel is it will add, when we add this particular checkbox, it's going to add that to the order as if that person picked that as their upsell. So I hope that answers your question a little bit more directly than what the previous one was, with a little bit more of the animation there. So Mark, Chris, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Well, I think also on that bump page, that text, that can actually be ordered where all that lorem ipsum is and the headline and things like that. That can actually be ordered with edited with the product name and all the details of that bump on the order page itself in the editor. You just click on that bump setting element in the editor, and it's going to allow you to customize that. Actually, on the page itself, not in the product settings. So yeah, there we go. So you click on that element, and all that text right there in the settings is editable, and you can change the headline and things like that to customize that according to whatever the product is. All right, we're going to go to the next question here from Don. He's asking about extra pages. So it looks like he has a page in the extra pages with an email integration on it. And then on submit, how does he redirect the page to another one? So I can go ahead and answer this one for you, Don. The best way to do this is when you have a page in the extra pages, you're going to go into the settings, and Andrew can actually show you on this page here that he's on. Oh, he just closed it out. But he can go into a page, and you click on the settings, and you can do this actually on any page, really. And there's a setting for a redirect override, and you can place any link that you want in there. So that way you have your submit form. Yeah, there it is, the redirect next override. So place the URL of the page that you want them to go to next, and they will be taken there when they submit the form. So I hope that helps. All right, so Roy has asked, which is better? When I set up a membership site, do you recommend I sell it in the form of a 4-video launch, or just a webinar, and after the webinar, a sales page? What are your thoughts on that, Andrew?
That would really depend on your goal. So, for example, a product launch series is more designed toward building up a lot of excitement for that particular product being launched, whereas your webinar is going to be something of a nature where you're going to inform people, give them some value, and then offer them a special price on a product or something of that nature. Now, these are obviously opinions in my case, of course. It would really depend on the goal that you have set for your own personal marketing and the experience that you want your visitors to go through.
All right. So we also had a question from Christina. She'd asked about the new Webinar Jam. And so we are actually using Webinar Jam right now, and the Webinar Jam Studio integration was added last night, so we're going to be using that next week in the Q&A webinar. So that's going to be exciting. I know a lot of people were looking forward to that. Next question, Steve is asking, do you plan on integrating with Easy Webinar? I know right now that's not something that's specifically in the plans, but we can definitely get that added as a feature request. So that's definitely something we can get added. But you know, we're always working and striving to improve the system, but there's nothing on the books right now for that. The next question is from Roy. He's asking, do you recommend I set up payment via Stripe for my membership site? Can you show me how?
Well, absolutely. Be happy to show you how. And we do recommend Stripe for a lot of reasons. It's actually the easiest integration that we have with our system. Now, as far as setting up Stripe, that's easy to do as well. Let me just go ahead and log into Stripe. I'm already logged into Stripe, which is fantastic. I'll go ahead and implement test mode. Okay. So what we're going to do is just come on back here. If I want to add Stripe to, say, for example, this order page, the first thing that I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to integrate with my account. So come up to My Account, click on the Settings, go to Payment Integrations. Just go ahead and click on this Stripe, and when you click here, it's automatically going to connect you to Stripe. If you don't have an account, you'll be able to automatically create one and use the same email that you used with ClickFunnels. That'll get you connected. Now, the next thing, once you're connected to Stripe, you're going to need to go in and you're going to need to create an integration with your pages, which is relatively simple as well. So we'll just go edit this funnel for a demo membership. And we will grab this order page right here, our product sales. Okay, I will add a product to this one. This one we will call main product. So right here where it says billing integration, once you've done the My Account settings and then integrated with Stripe, it will automatically show up as an integration for you, as well as any of your other payment processors that you have integrated. So you'll select it right there. Here you can put the dollar amount for our product. We'll call this a $1 product. And then right here, the currency that you want to collect. The bump, we're going to turn that bump on because we have those two products. And then right here, well, this isn't going to be the bump product. Right here, if you want this to be a subscription, a continuity product, you'll select subscription. If you want this to be a one-time payment, you'll select the one-time, and then simply select create product. So now what you have here on your order form, when we go take a peek at it, is you have your main product right there at $1. So if a person were to put in their test email, credit card test, and just a couple of numbers there. They go in, they want that main product. Yes, I'll take that course. They click order now. Then they'll have access. Now this actually isn't set up correctly for it to go through. This is not even part of the funnel, as you can see. So if we add our new page to our funnel, we can move that up there. But I hope that answers your question on how to connect Stripe. As you can see, it's actually really, really easy. So yes, we do recommend that you use Stripe.
All right. The next question is from Paul. And he is asking, are the assets within the members area protected so the links cannot be shared?
Yes, they are. They do get cookied to the person's IP address through Stripe if you have them set up that way. But it's very difficult to control 100% of the what we would call piracy. People do share links. That is something that, as internet marketers, we do have to deal with.
Yeah, on that one, I just had a quick comment. So if you mean by assets, if you mean actual digital assets, if you mean digital assets that are uploaded in My Account settings, then the answer would be no. Those links are Amazon S3 links, and it's potential for anyone to right-click and copy the link and then send it to someone else. So there isn't an actual protected link in that sense. Now, that is something that we could, explore and look at, but I'm not sure if there's a way to do that at the moment, if that's what you meant. So hopefully that helps.
All right. So the next question is from Nick, and he's asking, are there plans to add a tagging system in ClickFunnels for email marketing?
Well, as far as plans go on adding additional features, I know that we've got some really awesome features rolling out and some testing going on with autoresponder system built into ClickFunnels. As far as tagging goes out on additional emails, it would really depend on like Infusionsoft, for example, it does have the ability to do that within ClickFunnels. Ontraport, I believe, does as well. As far as that goes, Mark, do you have any comments?
I think, we have, like you mentioned, Ontraport has a tagging system and things like that. I think the question from Nick, I think he was asking more for tagging actual contacts within ClickFunnels itself for the contact records. And there really isn't a way to do that now without adding a custom field or something like that. But as far as I know right now, that is not in the plans. The next question is from Pete, and he says, I have all of my membership content on an Optimized Press WordPress site. Is there a way to protect and use that site in my ClickFunnels funnels? I have Stripe/Infusionsoft.
That is actually a really good question. You might be able to explore using the WordPress plugin. As far as giving access to the restricted content with an optimized press, that's not something that I'm actually 100% positive on being able to gain access through. If you're using Stripe, for example, you might be able to connect it to where when they make the purchase through, obviously through ClickFunnels, it unlocks that restricted content within your optimized press. Mark, do you have any thoughts on that?
So, I mean, really, there's a couple of ways that you could, if you have a separate membership site and you're building your sales funnels in ClickFunnels, I mean, you can always set up your sales funnels to direct to that membership site. That transaction would need to take place on the membership site to grant them access because there wouldn't be a direct integration there. You could also, another option that I've seen other people doing is they're actually creating their membership sites in ClickFunnels, moving all their content over, and then migrating their members. Now that is a little bit of a process because you have to create a new login for each one of those members, but I have seen quite a few people doing that as well.
Yeah, if I could just chime in there for a second, I think that's the absolute best way to do it. The options that you just elucidated upon, Mark, I think those are great. What I typically recommend people to do is to complete their entire funnel flow inside of ClickFunnels, and then their buy now or order button would link to the checkout process on their WordPress site. And I think that's absolutely the best way to do it if you want to continue to use ClickFunnels, but at the same time, you're happy with your current membership solution. Just use their checkout process and use all the other pages of your funnel inside of ClickFunnels.
All right, the next question is from Steve, and he's asking, how do you integrate your email with the various products and upsells in a member site? So that's a really good question, and I'm going to let Andrew go ahead and take that one.
All right, so just to kind of be a little bit clarifying on that, when you're saying link your email with the different products in your membership site. Say, for example, we open up this page and we have a member who comes in, say they subscribe and they gain access to the free content. And then they, at a later date, decide that they want access to the paid content. And when they gain access to that paid content, you want to segment that list, segment that visitor, that member to a different list so they get a different email sequence. How you would do that is actually relatively simple. We go here onto our sales page. Oh, let me see if I have a product here. Of course I don't have one. There it is. Okay, so on our order page, when we have our products, we have two products here. So for example, if they take the main product, we have the option of going right here into our product settings. So you just click on the edit. You go with the email integration. You'll be able to integrate basically with any of your autoresponder services that you have. On the action submit, you'll be able to just basic integration for your email. Now, within your email service provider, they're all different, but you can actually segment your list. So when a subscriber uses a specific email to subscribe to, say, for example, the free member list, and then they become a paid member, when they're segmented in here, it will automatically remove them from the free member list and then move them over to the paid member list. This isn't a setting that you're going to be able to access within ClickFunnels itself. You're actually going to need to set this up within your autoresponder. So I hope that helps. Mark, if you have anything you'd like to add, feel free.
No, I think you covered that there. I mean, that's the best way, for whatever products you have that are giving access to your membership area, it would just be right there in those product settings. I think that's a field that a lot of people overlook a lot of times, and it's actually a pretty powerful tool to use for your order forms and products. The next question is from Isolu, and she's asking about stats. She actually had a couple of comments about stats, so I'm going to kind of summarize this here. and she's asking for the best number for stats when you are looking at a page, because there's different stat numbers. There's the, as you got your mouse right there on the visitors, you got your conversion rate, and then over on the left-hand side you also have that percentage next to that page. So she wants to know basically which one is the best one to look at for the number of views for the page.
Hey, really quick, Andrew, do you have the feature on for present to everyone? Because I believe that when Mark is talking, it's actually showing his screen as opposed to forcing the share of your screen. You might want to check the present to everyone option. There you go. So that way when Mark talks, it's actually still showing your screen. Thanks, guys.
All right, so to answer Isolu's question, the best number to look at when you want the number of page views, it's going to be the visitors, and that's over there, right there where it says visitors. That's just going to show you the total number of unique visitors that have viewed your page. And then also down below, as Andrew's showing, there's a graph that will show the number of visitors, and it's also going to show you the number of conversions so that you can kind of compare those. And just a quick note on visitors, they are cookied for 12 hours. So the unique visitor is going to be counted, and then if they come back to that same page, they're not going to be counted again as another view. So that's something that a lot of times people have a question on, because their analytics or Facebook tracking stats or things like that, they're showing more views than what are actually showing up in ClickFunnels, and it's because those unique visitors are actually tracked differently. So great question. Ricardo had a question about what we talked about in the very beginning with the membership sites. He says, I see you had free lessons. Is there a way to grant someone access to the membership site to see free lessons and then provide a link to upgrade their membership to get access to the rest of the premium lessons? So I think the best way to do that is you could have a sales page, or wherever you want to have your page set up. As Andrew's showing here, he has his free lesson section, and you would set this section, and you wouldn't restrict access to it at all. If you see over on the lesson section settings, there's that button that says restrict access. Don't choose any products there, and that'll leave the lesson as a free content to anyone. So then when you're actually on your sales page where you're promoting this free offer, what you would do is create a button or a link that would have the URL for the secret thank you page URL for your membership site. And then that's the link that you want to send to people to create that registration. So then once they're registered and they're into that membership area, what you can do is actually create a separate lesson section and a separate lesson altogether that can be kind of your bonus offers section. This is what I've seen a lot of people do that works really well. And so within this bonus offers section, or whatever you want to call it, premium offers, things like that, you would actually have, and that access would be unrestricted as well to people, but you would actually have that content on there with perhaps a sales video or whatever it is that you want to try to sell to these people, and then you'd have a button that links directly to your order form page. So I hope that helps answer that question there. So I got a little long-winded. So we're going to go ahead and move on. We only got about 10 minutes left, so we want to make sure we get to as many questions as possible. So we got another question from Nick here. It's a good question. He says, I have noticed Russell using the order form for a sales page. He goes from squeeze page to order form page. The sales copy is a section above the order form. What is the strategy behind this method? Do you recommend we do this, or stick with the squeeze page to the sales page to the order form method? you have any thoughts on that, Andrew?
That actually, Nick, is a good question. It really, again, that's going to depend on your offer. What I would recommend that you do in this situation is split test. Setting up a split test is the only way you're going to know which one of those is going to convert higher, whether or not it's going to be your sales copy leading down to the order form or a separate page where they have to be directed to a specific order form. My personal opinion, I like to direct them to an order form, sales video, order form, and then so on after that, versus it all being on one page. But again, that's going to be a preference, and that's going to be based off what your niche is, as well as how the people react to your page. So definitely set up split tests.
Great answer. I think, and I mean that's what a lot of that strategy comes down to. And I mean, obviously, that page, for Russell's .com secrets book is a very highly converting page, and it does well. So, like Andrew was saying, it really depends on your offer, and it's going to come down to a lot of testing. We have another question here from Steve, and he's asking about how to embed a Facebook page post so that it shows properly on the page.
So basically, I'm assuming that's going to be sharing your page on Facebook, I assume. So let me go ahead and show you.
I think he's actually referring to embedded posts. There's a Facebook feature to where you can click on a post and actually choose to embed it on the little drop-down menu. And what you get basically is a little bit of HTML and JavaScript that you can embed into your page.
Yeah, what you want to do with that particular one, I believe we already have the JavaScript in our system, and so you actually don't need to grab the JavaScript part of the code. We already have, I think, the Facebook SDK or whatever it's called on our site. So what you actually need to do is just grab the div for the actual Facebook embedded post, and then put that in a custom HTML element. I actually have a demo page of this working. I'll see if I can find it while you guys continue, and then maybe I'll paste it in the main chat. I do believe I have one working. But you just take the div of the embedded post and put in a custom HTML element on the page, and it should appear.
I'm actually looking at that that code that they give you on Facebook, and they give you one little line to scroll through to get that code. So I'd recommend just copying that all and pasting it into a text editor, and then you want the code that comes right after the script tag in that case. And then, as Chris said, just put that into the HTML element. All right, Paul, he has a great question here about ClickBank, and he's asking if there's gonna be an advantage to using ClickBank over Stripe due to the affiliate network they have, or any other pros and cons of using ClickBank.
Well, I mean, I guess that would be another opinion-based question. Like you were mentioning, having the ability to set your funnel up in ClickBank gives you access to the marketplace, gives you access to other affiliates being able to market your products and stuff, and so forth. As far as preference goes, that again, that's just going to be up to you on what you want to use, if you're going to use ClickBank as your payment processor. We do recommend Stripe. I personally would prefer Stripe myself, but again, it's a preference thing.
So I think you're going to see the pros of that, like as Andrew was saying, is you get that ClickBank credibility, you get that network and things like that. The cons would be that when you are taking them to the buy page, it's actually taking them out of your funnel. Whereas with ClickFunnels, you're keeping them in your funnel, less clicks, and you're keeping it all contained. So there's just some differences there, and just really working that strategy on how you want to make that work. Next question, I'm going to, let's see, we've got a couple minutes left. Let's go to Ricardo's question here. He's asking if we are any closer to adding in multiple Stripe accounts. And Chris, do you have any input on that?
Yeah, actually, I can comment on that. That is something that we've discussed internally, and we actually do have some of that working on our testing server. So they're actually on our testing server. If some of us notice, there's actually a little add a new Stripe account. In terms of how that's going to roll out, I think it is something that we do want to do, for sure. I think what's being discussed is that going to be a different plan, right? Because that is an added feature, or is that something we're going to roll out for all customers? I mean, there's kind of an internal discussion, and also, first of all, obviously it has to work and it has to be designed to work. So yes, that is something we would like to do. When, unfortunately, we can't comment, but it's definitely something that's coming.
All right, thanks, Chris. Next question is from Eric. I think this is a follow-up to a previous question he had about the order bump, and he's asking, can the bump be another area in the membership site? So technically, when you have an order bump, that's going to be on your order form page. So as we were talking about earlier with the membership site and creating an upsell offer to your members, you would actually just create that link in your membership area, and the bump element itself would not be on that membership page. If it was, one, it's just not available on that page because that's an order form specific element, but it wouldn't function because it only functions with the credit card processing elements of the order form page. So really, the best way, as we mentioned previously, is to create that order form. You could have your product and then your bump, and in this case, it would really just be an upsell from the previous membership product they purchased or the free access that they were given. So it may not even be a bump product in this case. It may just be a regular product. So in that case, it kind of just goes back to what we were saying about just adding in that marketing into your membership area, which I highly recommend. I mean, you're getting access to people, and keep on marketing and increasing that revenue. Next question is from Brenny, and it's actually a follow-up. She's asking for clarification on her previous question. She says, on the order page, you add the product, and it shows up on the left-hand side. Sorry, I'm trying to and you choose sales page template. Part 2, if you have a one-pay option and a two-pay option, I set up as a subscription and ask for the Stripe plan, which is blank. So I think what she's asking about is when you add a product, what's that extra page that shows up on the left-hand side? And that's actually basically what happens when you create a new product, as Andrew's going to show us here. It creates a thank you page template. You can actually change this when you create the product. Once again, this is another overlooked tab. These product settings here are very powerful. So if you go to the fulfillment email tab, that's that second tab over. Go ahead and click on that tab, Andrew, on the top there. You can see down below where it says thank you page. It's by default it's set to create thank you page, and that's going to create that page and the extra pages there. Or you can set that to a membership page or an existing thank you page. So changing that would prevent it from creating a new thank you page. But by default, when you create a product, it's going to create a product-specific thank you page for that. The second part of that question was a one-pay option and a two-pay option set up as a subscription. And it's talking about when you're creating the product, the plan is showing up as blank when she's creating the subscription product. So when you set up your plan in Stripe, you need to make sure it's created in live mode and test mode as well with the exact same plan ID. And so, yeah, he's going to choose subscription there, and then right below where it says Stripe plan, it looks like what it sounds like is nothing is showing up there. So really, when you choose that Stripe plan down there, you have to create the plan in Stripe first in order for anything to show up there. So that's the answer to that. We got 1 minute left. So let's pick, I'm going to pick Tim's question here. For domains on ClickFunnels versus owned domains, what is the difference and advantage? Andrew, what are your thoughts on this?
I personally don't like using subdomains, for one, but the advantage of using your own personal customized domain is you are in a lot more control. When you're marketing, you're advertising your domain, you can direct that domain at any time to anywhere you want it to go. And another really big benefit that you might notice, it hasn't happened with ClickFunnels, thank God yet, but like companies like JVZoo, for example, you can't use their links on Facebook, for example, because a lot of people start spamming and things of that nature. When you're using your own custom URL, you don't have to worry about that. Custom URLs, custom domain names are, in my opinion, the best way to go when you're doing your marketing. So.
All right. Well, thanks for that. It looks like we're actually out of time, and we want to make sure that we respect everyone's time on this because we do this every week, and we want you guys to keep coming back. And so there was a few questions that we didn't get to. You can go ahead and actually submit those as support tickets, and we'll get to those more than likely today. And we appreciate you guys coming. We're really grateful for the opportunity to share all this information with you. We love ClickFunnels. We're excited about it, and we're glad that you are too. Anything to add, Andrew?
Actually, guys, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you very much for coming out, listening to us babble, challenging us with the questions. It's actually really exciting. It keeps us on top of our toes, and we appreciate you for that. Thank you guys for showing up again, and we will see you again next week when we do the same thing. Now, next week we are changing the time to Tuesday, so make sure you mark your calendars for that, and we'll see you then.